welcome back to another video. I know it's been a little while. I've just been really busy with some things, and it gave me the ability to realize a few things I'm very grateful for, and I'm going to talk about it. Since I'm away in a whole different state right now, for college, I don't really get to see my parents anymore, and I never realized how much I've taken them for granted, basically. Yeah, I love my parents very much, and I always did, like, nothing changed, but moving away and being away from them for so long made me realize that I might have taken them a little bit for granted and never spent enough time with them, or never showed them enough appreciation or enough love, and I kind of feel like a terrible son for that. They are my everything, and I'm growing, I guess, since I'm growing up now and they continue to grow up, I kind of realize that, you know, our parents aren't invincible, and they aren't going to stay with us forever. They age like we do, and one day they just won't be here. And if you're lucky enough to, you know, spend time with them as much as you would like, you start seeing small little details that you never seen before in their daily lives, like them moving slower, or them having gray hairs that they never had before, and yet they still do anything you want them to. They don't complain. They sit there with love and care and say, yes, of course. Like, that's such a beautiful thing. Your parents everyone's parents are amazing, and no matter what background you come from, rich or poor, the outcome is still the same. They will eventually be gone, and that's just so sad to think about. We're moving at such a fast pace right now that sometimes they can't catch up, and that's really sad to see. No one knows us best but our parents, and you know, if you have any problems, they'll be the first people you go to. You know, no one tells you the saddest, I don't know, the saddest part about growing up is realizing that they won't be with us forever. I feel like they used to drive you everywhere, and now the funny thing is that we're gonna be driving them, you know. And you know, as we were little kids, they used to call us and, you know, ask if we're okay. But since they're growing up and getting older and their bodies get weaker, we're gonna be the people that call them to ask them if they're okay. And I just find the irony in that, and I find that so funny and just so amusing how our caretakers, you know, we become our caretakers in a way. Isn't that such a funny coincidence if you think about it? At least for me it is. I think that's such a funny coincidence. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just really sad to think about right now. That someday they won't be here. And I'm sure that we all had stages in our lives where we got annoyed by our parents for small things, but I think you start to realize that those small things actually showed us that they cared for us. And I think you realize that when they slowly stop asking you about those small little details in your life, which is so upsetting. And one day you'll hug your parents and not realize that that's the last time you'll ever see them. And that is just, I think that for anyone, that's sad to think about. And this doesn't only apply for parents, this applies for your grandparents, your friends, other family. You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen in people's lives. And same goes for us individuals. We don't know when our lives will end. It could happen later in life, it can happen when we're young, and it can happen abruptly, it can happen at any random point, and you don't know if that's gonna be last time your parents see you, or the opposite way around. It's just a scary thing to think about. So, what I'm trying to say is basically never, ever take your family for granted. And that could go, not even, okay, honestly, that could go for family and friends. Never take anyone in your life for granted. Because everyone who was with you throughout your whole journey helped you in some sort of way. Always, and I used to be the type of kid that absolutely hated photos and, other sorts of things. And when my parents always asked me, hey, let's do this, let's do that, and I said no, I regret it now. So please, record and take those moments. Keep them forever and ever. Say I love you to your parents, to your friends, to any relative in your life. And just never take a day, never take anything for granted. Everything can change in an instant. You never realize you're living moments you'll miss the most until they are already over. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you have a great day.